So Level Finance is a platform that allows employees to access a percentage of earned but unpaid income. In a lot of organizations, that's considered to be an advance, which is seen as a loan. This is very different. This is money you've actually worked and earned and you're eligible for. So how we actually got into it is I come from a community, so growing up in a household where we were completely reliant on both parents' income. My dad was a tradesman. My mum had she was the more stable income. She used to get paid 30 days. My dad used to get paid weekly. And my parents were never in debt when my dad got paid weekly. That narrative changed when my dad got into a more stable environment and income, which led him back to a 30-day pay cycle as well. So where the kind of the opportunity for me was when I had a situation with my domestic worker who borrowed money from a loan shark and confiscated her ID. She had to flee her home, really, and it was something I could relate to, in terms of my parents, where there was not a lot of opportunities for them to go. They would either borrow money within the family if they needed something. We never ever knew about that as kids, when my parents were struggling. That narrative hasn't changed much if you look at specifically from the communities that I come from, right? Where people either borrow from family members. There's a lot of shame attached to that sometimes as well. Parents don't want to discuss that they're running out of money with their kids and within their family. And sometimes the only option they would have is to either go to the employer. If the employer denies them of that service, they are forced to go to unsecured lenders. So that is a problem I'm extremely passionate about. And there's a lot to it. Besides the early income, it's really about education as well. So where do we start and where does education start around talking about money, the psychology of money, how we perceive money, how we make money, how we problem solve together as a family when there is scarcity. So the education part is a big part of what it is that we're focusing on. As well as, not only early income, but how do people get to the point where they can build emergency funds, and they can start saving as well. So to give context again, one of the things that happened with me was because my parents were retired by the time I had started working and I had to go into corporate. What Black communities do and the communities I come from is the first thing you do is you go and buy an outfit on credit, right? Because you don't have corporate wear. So my sister had to do that. She had to go and open up an account to buy me corporate wear for my first interviews. So before I even had a job, I got into debt, and this is the problem that I'm trying to solve. So it's a B2B2C. So we sign up the employer. The employer then gives access to all their staff. They introduce our service. We do the adoption. We do the education portion. There's no cost to the employer. We do the financial assessments and we do the reporting afterwards, how we get paid back as well as on the next payroll cycle. So we charge a 2% transaction fee for every drawdown and 29 Rand per month. So if you belong to the service or access the service, you pay 29 Rand plus a 2% transaction fee, very much like using an ATM. So it's a subscription-based business. We do not charge interest.